Thanks for having me. Thanks for waiting for me and waiting for the talk. And thanks for Alex, actually, for the interesting talk. And yeah, enjoyed also actually the talks from the morning on the social movement, migration. And so the title. So it's really hard to find the title, like a certain title of the thing. Mainly, I started my work and my activism as a human rights lawyer in one of this great dictatorship authoritarian countries called Egypt. And if you don't know, Egypt considered the first state in history that we know. So it's rooted there. I started supporting migrants and refugees community in my country, my land at that time. And actually, I started to notice something. Egypt has no national asylum law. We depend on the UNHCR, and UNHCR depend on the state and government, and they keep playing this game of seek and hide and withdraw responsibility to each other, and people in between keep in denial. And I started asking myself, like, okay, why we don't have such national law, especially our law school, like the Egyptian law methodology and the Egyptian law school actually since early the 20th century, 1920 something. And also they signed the Geneva Convention in 80s. So to be without a national law for such a matter, for a country in such a region, this is different, yeah. But so you can imagine Egypt is more there, and it's in the middle of the Middle East. And Middle East, as you might know, kind of a hot region. It's super exciting. Every day is an action. So a lot of refugees, a lot of misplaced people moved to Egypt. And the answer was actually super easy after a while, after a couple of years. It's a trade. They are trading with it. So to have international organizations and to have a kind of a foreign state collaborating in such a matter, bringing profit, it's something, and keep the repression on the social movement because it's illegal to do so. You are not authorized to speak on behalf of the refugees and migrant community. You are not allowed to offer help, to support, to do whatever. And it's funny actually because there was a pressure from EU started in 2013, especially after the Arab Revolution, Arab uprisings, when started a lot of people disembark from Libya and Tunis towards Europe. So there was a pressure on the North African countries, and then as we witness actually in the last few years, the situation in Libya, the slavery trade, the arbitrary migrant detention. Even we see German troops in South Libya, in Mali, Chad. They are offering training and border security. And with this pressure, there was many countries actually offered a draft of law, like national. First, it came a law combating and preventing which called illegal migration and trafficking and human trafficking. And then the idea became more that to start working on a national laws. To do so, they established which called a National Committee for Compact Illegal Migration and Trafficking in Human. And if you just do some search on Google, you will find out that this institute exists after 2010 in most of the West African and North African countries, Sudan, and also the Horn of Africa. And it's implemented through EU funds. In the way that establishing a law without practice, without any law enforcement, a kind of fundraising. So, okay, Europe, what do you need? You need us to close the borders? We close the borders. You want us to secure it, to externalize the European borders, and to be the kind of gates, to be also, and it's connected, weapon brokers. So Europeans are selling weapons, and the African leaders mediate on it and also feed the conflict, which force people to leave and to flee their countries, and then they come and crash with the fortress. Actually, if you see here, this is the politician, and all these military suits are usual. This is actually the dealers. And then here, the head of EU member states and the commissioner are just sitting around doing some agreements, doing something to implement or to push the third countries to follow the agenda. Actually, for years now, more than a decade, and we are hearing that, okay, EU is fighting the root causes of undocumented migration in the South. But they are not. They are not fighting the root causes. They are just doing what they are seeing it's right, even if it's not fit for the situation there. Not fit for the context, not fit for the background. And now it's in every single African country. In every single African country, you will find Frontex representation. You will find officers training officers for border security. You will find the great European companies and corporations just making deals. Germany start like this called the German-African collaboration in the way of G20, and making like business deals, making cooperation, which actually also affect the climate, affect the natural living there, making people for sure to flee, making people for sure to find another way. When you are a fisherman, and then the fish taken by the big corporation, by big fishing companies, and you cannot seal, and then the state is fighting you and putting you under repression because you are a fisherman, and you could be accused of smuggling. For sure, you have a relation with such a network, you are working at sea. For sure you will flee, for sure you will find another way to feed your family, even if you risk your life and cross the sea. And that's what actually witnessing. I'm a member of Alarm Phone, Watch the Med Alarm Phone, which is a network monitoring the human rights violation at sea, providing support and assist for people crossing the sea in distress. We have a hotline, people calling us in distress. We try to mediate or to officially make it as a report, as a SOS, as a case of distress to the concerned authorities. And we witness that every day, from the Aegean Sea in the east to the Atlantic in the west. People every day just crossing, jumping fences, crossing borders. Borders are dust. And this is the thing that if we look or go back in the history for just 100 years, most of the map that we know today was not exist. And it's exist because of interest, because of colonial power and imperialism. And they keep feed it through the generations. And now it became a kind of a matter of fact. It's a reality. We cannot resist it. But we do resist it. People actually, I call them the heroes, because I hate, as an activist, I hate the picture for the activist in the media, showing the activists as they are sacrificing their lives to save others. No. Actually, the real heroes, the people going through the experience, the people that are living we lived the uncertainty during this first year of Corona, and everyone was going mad. Whoa, when I will leave home again? When could I meet my friends in a public space? The public life is shrinking. But we were living good. We have homes. We have a roof top of our heads. But these people live in the uncertainty every single minute. No one will leave home until it's necessary to leave home, until it's urgent, it's risky. To decide that you are not going back, to leave a part of your life, your memories, behind your back, it's really a big decision. It's a life decision. And to make it, it's not just for having fun, for crossing sea, for going to Europe. Europe is, it's not like, you are European, most of you live in here, and Europe, it's not heaven at all. Really, in comparison, it's more stressful than where I came from. Really more stressful. Time is running after people, not people running after time. And it's crazy. If you are sick for one day, it's your responsibility. But there, I call it warm south. There is this sense of social community. People are caring for each other, even if I don't know you. I can see someone here in the street just drop down. For what reason? People were just passing by. The most they do, are you okay? That's it. But there it's different. So to understand that these people are leaving all that behind themselves, not because there is a piece of cake here you want to come to get a snatch of it. No, because they think that here is safer than them, is better than them, for them. And this trade actually, and even EU, like if we take an example, like for instance, what happening nowadays in Afghanistan. So for 20 years, different EU member states, the United States of America were there. Huh? Not the Americans just were there. A lot of EU states were there. And then when they are leaving, and when they left, they caused this disaster. Because everyone was collaborating with foreign country is in danger. Because they feel that, okay, my allies, they are leaving. They are leaving me behind them. I have family. I'm afraid. It's not safe for me. And how the EU handled, or the Americans, or whoever, like we were watching the news, how did they handle the situation? How did they treat their friends like servant? They are not friends, they are not allies, they are servant. They were servant when we were there, and when we are leaving, We will leave them there because they are not equal like us. And this is the problem. This is the structural problem in the migration and asylum policies. Racism, no equality. They are not like us. If you go to the refugee camps, you will find that every single person from different backgrounds, from different countries, from different culture, with different experience, put them all in one pot, in the same place, because they just not like us. We are different, but all of them fit together. This is the problem. This is the problem when we see how Germany, for instance, treated the Syrian refugees in 2015, and at the same time there was Afghans arriving in the country, and until this moment, after 6 years, most of them is still struggling and fighting with this asylum system. Because easily, you're coming from a safe country. You are safe. Like a country full of fire, war, conflict for 40 years is safe. But because that we are targeting these educated people, and yeah, they are looking intellectual, and they are exotic. Yeah, accept them. There is potential in them. Young ages, they will adopt fast. They will be integrated. And this, like the word of integration, it has been exploded by the politician. By the way, integration goes both ways, not one way. If we want to integrate together, so it's a kind of sharing. Huh? It's not just I put my rules and you have to follow because you are living in my land. Yeah, so people are different. Huh? Even European among themselves are different. I'm coming from Berlin, 4 hours by train. People here, like the social behavior is totally different than Berlin. If I go more south to Italy, it's in Sicily, like honestly, in Sicily, I feel this is North African more than Europe. So this is the thing, we have to understand what's going on, because it's a big industry, really big industry, a big money involved, corruption. Like in 2016 happened that it was a scandal. There is a collaboration between the Egyptian military and what's called Libyan Coast Guard and the smuggling network. And they organizing together until a big shipwreck happened in September 2016, and it was kind of a reveal. Found out that, and then started great Macron and Angela Merkel push on Sisi, because you are getting a lot of money. What are you doing? People are drowning with all this shit happening. So this is the Grenze, borders in German. And freedom of movement, it's really a fundamental human right. It should be for everyone. Like the power of the paper is controlling, like now I have a German paper, so I can easily go wherever I want to go. They will not stop me because I have the paper, even of my color. I got the attitude, so yeah, I can put the racist in their place. But I have this power also because I know that I have a strong paper. I know that if when they ask me for my Ausweis, my ID, when I show the German one, looks change. But what about someone left everything behind them? They don't even have the paper to prove where they come from, to prove their name, to prove their age. And this is actually Another problem, when someone going to apply for asylum has no papers, they put the age that they want. So you will find dozens of minors, thousands of minors who just became adult because the employee who was registering them decides, so, no, you are not looking 15, you are 19. And then you lose a lot of chances of family reunification, of education, and you lost already of your life 4 years. I'm talking too much, and it's really a big topic, and we will not end up. So if you see here like this, Mali, this is the European troops between Niger and Chad also in the borders. Yeah, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you have to stop me. Yeah, thanks. So the solution starts from here, but not in the way that they are doing. The solution is to put their hands off. Really, if you don't want migrants to come fleeing from their countries, from their land, because you are taking the profit over them, because this is the new form of colony, you have to put your hands off, to stop making profit over people's life. Funding Frontex with billions of euros instead of offering education projects, offering programs to open the borders, to regulate the situation for asylum who are already in Germany, in Europe. Like, it's really crazy, because the money that they spend and invest in deportation, for example, it's too much. It's really too much. Like, I really wanna find an answer. Like, why you are spending all this money in such a place that you need every single youth to help and build? Open questions, but the 2 minutes are running out. Yeah, so this is the thing, and for me, we are not living a refugee crisis. It's not a migration crisis. As said, migration is a really human, natural habit. Since the beginning, we all are moving and traveling around, and we have different heritage from different places. The problem is a political crisis. The problem is this new policies and laws adopted to be our reality. And me, myself, and I know hundreds of people, same like, are resisting, and we will keep resisting, and we will keep working actively both ways to change the shitty reality and build the future that we are looking for. Thanks for listening.